tell my friends stand by me only if I'm right. I come out of triple darkness just to see the light. If I say it once, I guarantee I say it twice. If they want me, I ain't going out without a fight. In my dreams, I'm a killer, but for God, man. Try to play it cool, but it's getting hard, man. Rolling with the real and death to all the frauds, man. Not too many of me, yeah, it's kinda hard, man. In my room, sitting in my room. Know they waiting on me and I'm coming soon. Never been a sellout, never been a coon. Y'all be on the camera acting like I'ma show them how true and independent get it. Whole game changed by the time I'm finished with it. We about to get this business handled in a minute.
Welcome to the B2M Crew podcast with five brothers who have been friends for over 40 years and who have between us 12 sons out of 13 children, been married for a combined over 100 years. Get together on this podcast to talk about fatherhood, parenting, other issues related to our journeys from childhood into adulthood, and just to share with you and give you some insight into the conversations that we've had over the years on vacation, over the phone, helping one another out and just chopping it up, giving you some authentic discussions into the perspectives of five unique black men. We're broadcasting here from the Code Building on the Downtown Mall in Charlottesville, Virginia, which is our hometown. I'm joined to my right by John J.G. Yates.
What up, though?
Currently out of Northern Virginia. My man Talik Chillwin out of Atlanta. Waukee holding us down at the hometown here. And my man Jay Moo out of Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm coming from Maryland. I'm the Wavo Black. And what's going on, fellas?
What's
What's
good?
up?
Hey, man, another
We ready
day.
to rock and roll.
Here we rocking and rolling again. We got an interesting topic today that's I'm sure going to be near and dear to all of our hearts, man. It's really about mother, right? How we related to our own mothers, what we taught our children about relating to their mother, and any observation or experiences we care to share about that oh so special woman in every man's life. I saw a quote by Denzel Washington recently. He said, there's no greater love any man has than his love for his mother. And I'm going to start it off just like that, James. How would you think about that quote, brother?
That's profound, brother. That's deep. I don't know, well, why they attribute that, you know what I'm saying, a mama's boy, that sort of thing, when you have that type of love or relationship with your mother and then daddy's little girl or whatever. I don't know why it seems to be put that way, but because I'm sure there are plenty of women that adore their mothers just as
Yeah,
deeply.
they don't say daddy's boy and mama's girl.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So if you say, oh, he's a mama's boy, just because, and though it's, five of us. Yeah, five, but of course, different as far as dynamics of the, of my siblings and all of that. But, yeah, man, it's too deep for me to just say anything that is more than what was said in the.
I guess really, why you think that love is so deep for mama when you're a son?
Probably because of she being the vessel through which we all came through, man. You know what I mean? And depending on what she was going through at the time of you being developed within her, probably draws you closer and has, having such a great bond. And of course, we all have our different, experiences as to how that may have been or circumstances that may have been, but just probably that connection, man, that being, the first. Well,
love.
Let me do it because it's a few years ago that I thought of this. I was like, I should celebrate my Mother's Day, if you will, on my birth anniversary when I was born, because she wouldn't have been a mother until she had me,
right?
As her first child.
That's a good one, Jane.
I need to.
The day she became a mom.
Right. Yes, that's the true Mother's Day. The same day you was born. Your birth anniversary.
We got it backwards. Yeah. On my birthday, my mama should get all the gifts.
Yeah, when she called you and say happy birthday, you thinking, and I've actually had this in my mind. I was like, thank you, like happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah. On your birthday. So.
All right, James. So Waukee, what's your relationship like with your mom?
Well, first of all, we have an amazing relationship. We talk all the time. If we don't talk every day, we gonna at least talk 5 or 6, if not 7 days a week, every day. I might come home and she's sitting in the living room, and it's perfectly okay, you know. But we have a great relationship, and I think when you lose your father at a young age like we did at 9 and 11. I think one of the things that makes that bond so strong with mom is because you see your vulnerable female mother put it on the line for you. When you wearing your lynch mob hoodie and mom comes say, no more, it ain't happening. When you see your mom come down the street and say, what's going on down here? Let's go, get in the car. When you see your mother put it on the line for you over and over and over in her vulnerable self as she can be, you understand that that woman put it on the line for me. She risked her life and her safety maybe from time to time for me. And so I think that's a big part of why we had that feeling about our mothers, is because we saw them. You know, man, I don't even want to go into, I'm going to go into it, see them on, go to work at 7 a.m, getting off, at the hospital at 3, coming right next door here at the Omni Hotel, going in there at 4 o'clock and working until 11 o'clock at night. I think like for years.
From can't see morning to can't see night.
Yeah, exactly. So when you see your mom do that and half the time we ain't doing what we supposed to be doing.
Not at all.
We out doing something reckless and irresponsible. But she is just trying to make sure she is capable of providing for us. And thank God we had a village with grandparents and aunts and uncles and everybody that can chip in, and help. But you see mom lay it on the line for you and risk it for you, that give you a different bond.
What about you co-signing that to Lee?
Man, for sure. When I was an adult, I wrote my mom a love letter, right? And I really just sit back and just look. When my brother was born, he had difficult with his feet, and I think he had the word like, yeah, I'm telling you business. I'm telling you business.
Hey, and, he had them square shoes on. Them square baby shoes.
Y'all heartless, man. Y'all heartless.
I didn't know he had, I never knew that.
I still had the scars, man. I had club feet. I didn't walk for the first few years of my life. I was in a wheelchair and everything.
Oh, you had club feet for real?
Yeah, bad. And I was at the children's.
He always, when we go somewhere, he ready to walk all over the place because he 3 years behind.
Yeah, I was at the children's rehab center and everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so, put it on out there.
Hey,
told my business.
Yeah, touch your business. But also for me, man, I was extremely sick when I was a child, man. I mean, like life or death type thing, man. Like for years.
What's the name of the blood disease? I can't remember.
I got G6PD is a blood deficiency, and I can't.
Got it now.
Yeah, I can't donate blood and stuff like that, and, but it doesn't bother me,
Mothballs can be deadly.
Not no more. None of that stuff really bothers me.
Better.
Yeah.
What could be deadly?
Mothballs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Mothballs was I was allergic to mothballs.
Okay.
And aspirins and stuff like that. But
now, real quick, anybody else got any other conditions we don't know about?
Yeah. Hey, why y'all laughing and joning on the Wynn brothers, right?
No idea.
And so her son's sick, right? Her firstborn sick, her secondborn sick, right? And I was in the hospital. I mean, I lived in the hospital. I was, from what I hear, for up to what, 2 years old, not longer. And then you got a father that's sick,
man.
And so I, as an adult, I'm looking back. So I write her this love letter, and I tell her about how special she is, and I didn't really understand it until I don't know. Maybe I was a parent, maybe I wasn't. I'm not really sure. But I remember writing this letter, and it was probably about 6 pages long. just showing my appreciation for her.
Just came out.
Yeah, and just how I was a knucklehead and how I got my life together and how so proud of her just there, and so it's one of those things, man. It was my time to celebrate her.
Yeah.
And let her know that that I didn't look over that. That when I got to become an adult, I was able to acknowledge that and do that. So that was very, very special.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure.
What about you, John?
Man,
Single mom?
yeah. And again, all of us mothers became a mother as a teenager, right? And just think about the evolution of our relationship, of our growing, having a young mom and like you said, man, the love that she showed for me and growing up, and then you become a teenager, then you got a little beef, a little judgment, little tension, right? And you're going out on your own, and then you get older and you be like, wow, she was not only taking care of me, but again, as I told the story in previous episodes, my grandmother's a single mama, grandfather killed. Next thing you know, it's 5 kids, single lady. And then my mother's helping raise her 2 younger brothers. You know what I mean? Her mother raised her, but she was crucial to helping the family out. You feel me? And a lot of times to her own detriment, and that's huge, man. And so it's all love, man. We have a wonderful relationship. We talk all the time to this day. We laugh, we joke. She get on me, I get on her. She like, you ain't my daddy. I said, yeah, I'm your daddy. I'm looking out after you, but nobody else will. That's how you raised me. She don't know what to say. She don't say nothing else to that. But it's all love, man. And I got all love for y'all mothers too. You know what I mean? They're my aunties, and they show me a whole lot of love.
That is true.
And hey, man, it's so much to, like James said, like, man, it's so much. Where do you start? You know what I mean?
Man, I remember when I had my was it my 50th birthday party, or James, you brought your mom up for one event I had. I don't know, it was my birthday or a cookout, graduation cookout.
It might have been one of the boys.
It was a graduation cookout when his mom came.
To your point, love for one another's mother. I know that ain't the topic, but I always, nothing's hearing the story because I know Lottie too, and just, man, come on, man. It's like when I saw your mom, I was like, it felt like I saw my mom. I was like, oh my God. I told her. I said, it's so special to me that you're here right now. Because that's somebody that know you from a kid too.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? But my mother, we all know this, man, and we didn't take it to the spiritual realm, but the mother, as we all know, is God to a baby.
Come on.
Right.
That baby has no concept of what God is. The mother provides all the needs, the nurturing, the food, the clothing, the comfort. God's representative to a baby is a mama.
That's right.
Right? And she's also the first teacher.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? To teach you how to do whatever. Right? That's the first voice that resonates you. And she's known you 9 months longer than everybody else.
Come on now.
You understand what I'm saying? And so today, man, when I think about my mother, I hope I don't cry, because still to this day, I have not met a human being stronger than her in my life. Right? Strong woman. You know what I'm saying? And hard working woman. I can't get her to sit down now, even when she don't need to work. You know what I'm saying? And if you say something to her, don't tell me what to do. I'm moving while I can. That's all she's known since a teenager is working, man. And so as a grown man, when I get tired and I'm fatigued, I think about her, man. And it'll make me call myself a punk in a minute.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right. Yes,
to do what she did, walking from when she was living up in Newtown and Greenwood as a teen mother, catching a Greyhound bus to go to work in Charlottesville and come back in the pitch of the night and gotta get let off on Route 64 and walk 3 miles
in the dark
up a dark hill in a winding road to come back and take care of us, right? I ain't even got that in me now. I got to go live in Charlottesville. But the strength, the quiet strength, in times where I felt discomforted, to let me know stuff was gonna be all right, like y'all said in the issue about your father's death, and the quiet guidance, man. And even when she knew I was being reckless, she gave us a lot of rope. But when she needed to come down and with that lesson, it was so resonated within me because of her sacrifice. You know what I mean?
Right.
And some things that she didn't know I was listening. And I carried out. Maybe not when she wanted me to carry out, but I need her to know that I'm carrying it out right now. You know what I'm saying? And so in that relationship, man, that like this morning coming into town, I'm late because I was like, I can't come in here without going to see my mom. I'm not going to tell her I've been here all day and didn't pass your house.
Drove right past.
To get here and to see her this morning. And she said, I didn't even know I was going to see one of my babies this weekend.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And man, and like all of us, man, it ain't no stronger woman I ever met in my life. And I don't even mind saying that to my wife. That I was raised by a strong woman who taught me how to take care of myself, who made sure I had everything I needed to the point where she would borrow money to get it or to make me happy. And even though I wouldn't have wanted her to do that, I never knew how Christmas happened.
Right. But
I never knew how she afforded those things that she might not have been able to get us throughout the year until I got old. And she was like, I was at work and I would take out loans at the credit union to make sure y'all had what y'all wanted. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
that bond, man, I'm forever grateful to God for her, man. And I'm so glad when she sees the joy of her grandchildren and that they're doing well. It just makes me feel special that I contributed to that part of her happiness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, man,
That's a real thing, man, because I know it's funny. My mom was just at the house last night and she was talking about how when she lost her brothers, how she just leaned on me and my brother to get her through that. She was like, I'd be in a mental hospital if I ain't had y'all to lean on during these times when I've lost my brothers. And so, you know, the one thing I know is that I didn't realize how much she was leaning on us until last night, really.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the one thing I've taken away from my mom is she just been a champion for me and my brother, like just always so happy for whatever we doing. You know, she would always be like, oh, I'm bragging on myself. I said, Mom, stop bragging on me before I rob a bank. You know,
Just so she won't brag about
stop
you.
bragging on me before I rob a bank.
You crazy.
You know,
Brag on me.
Yeah.
I need it.
Yeah, you know, she just been, you know, a champion for whatever we were doing.
Yeah.
And now for whatever her grandkids, our sons are doing.
Right.
You know, and I just remember, like, I think about the times when I may have been struggling financially and I hadn't said a word, but she would do something and I knew she knew.
Mm-hmm.
That's
know,
funny.
I knew she knew.
Your mom is just like my mom too.
Yeah.
Because she would not even. I mean, it was just so recent too. Because, you know, though we're distant, and I don't talk to her every day. At least I
physically distant. That's
right.
right.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, physically distant. I try to make a point to hit her up every week on Wednesday, and we'll talk about whatever little shows that we, that we enjoy together. And she'll say, you know, and it's nothing in my voice, but if there was something, and she still loves to, you know, be able to take care of her boys, and like you said, she does. It's funny when you just said that as far as being a champion, that is my mom. She will talk about her boys all the time, proud of us as she is, and loves to brag on us and whatnot, man. And but what was that last point you just made?
I don't know. I say anything.
About knowing if you having a struggle.
Oh, right, with the
Yeah.
financial
Knowing
piece.
whether
Right,
you
right, right. With the
communicate or
financial
not.
piece. You should say, do you need some money? Do you need and she's ready to
At a
just,
drop
you
of a
know,
dime.
yes. Even to this day, as a grown man having taken care of his own family and give her grandchildren, she's still, you know, will do anything to make sure we straight, to make sure I represent in whatever way to the best that I could, even again with whatever help she feels she can give. And so yes, she's indeed. I just had to go back on what you said of her being, like you say, a champion for, you know, championing us, you know, her boys,
Yeah.
man, and ready again to still be that no matter what age you still my baby, you still, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I have to second that, bro, because
And
that
I
is
so
indeed
regret all of the stress I caused, though, man.
right.
You know what I mean? She did
Yeah.
not deserve it. You know what I'm saying? And I know it was a point where she was like, I just don't know what's going to happen with him. But I remember when she dropped me off to college, she said, promise me that you'll think before you act. Just make that promise to me that you're going to think before you act. And that stayed with me in college because I did mature. You know what I'm saying? At that time, man, I think she gave us so much rope. I just wasn't interested in all the stuff people that had just got free was doing.
That's
but
true.
that did resonate with me when she was like, I was like, dang, I must be a bad thinker sometime, right? Because it meant something, man. Let me ask y'all this, man. So being as fathers then, like, were there certain lessons you wanted to make sure you taught your sons about engaging with their mother, or that, not lessons, but advice you shared with your wife about relating to the sons, or you know what I'm saying?
John,
Like, what
you
was
can go
that thing?
first
What
on
was
this.
that
You was
thing with?
big on
Because yeah,
I think you was big on that, you
As
know,
far as,
them honoring their mama and do this for your mama. That's your mama. You know, I think
Yeah.
you was big on that. I mean, I remember the conversation.
Well, I ain't big.
I'll speak on it, and I am, but I know I'll say you can go first.
You talking about as far as showing your mama love and respecting her.
yeah,
Yeah.
Even in our
Even
weak
when she
moments.
being
Yeah,
irrational.
even when she wrong. Yeah. and showing and being able to handle that and work through that, you know, because we're not perfect as fathers, they're not perfect as mothers, and so being able to try to help my sons navigate that as well, you know, even to this day, right? And going back to what you were saying too, when your mom dropped you off at school, right? Can't never say ain't no right from wrong.
yeah,
Right? I can't never say that. I ain't always do the right thing.
yeah.
But I always
You
knew.
yeah,
Yeah, and it was instilled in me. You know what I mean? And you know, people always want to take the good in them and take credit for it. And whatever faults we had, they want to blame somebody else, you know? But so I'm quick to say, hey, she instilled it in me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I just didn't always do the right thing.
yeah,
And that's why I always talk about when you get a certain age, I love you, mom. I love you. But now I'm kind of doing my thing. She carry on. All right, go ahead. And I just, you know, wouldn't disrespect her openly, but I'm doing my own thing. And again, that's why I always said, hey, a man need to be in there to, hey, I'm gonna put you back on the right track. But yeah, that's what you was referring to.
Yeah, because you know, sometimes the dynamic, especially when your sons become teenagers and young men and young boys, and now they physically are bigger than mama, you know, and just if you even hear the slightest of attitude in a voice, if you hear the slightest of volume change in a voice,
Yeah.
I'm like, hey.
Oh yeah,
That's mama right there.
Yeah.
We ain't
Right.
gonna never had that. And
Right.
I probably only maybe had to say that once, maybe twice.
Yeah,
I ain't
yeah.
never had to say that more than
Right.
once.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know,
Yeah.
like, hey, that's your mama right there, you
Yeah.
know. And you know, and sometimes she might be tripping. Just let her.
Oh, they be tripping.
Watch
Yeah.
your tone. Watch your tone now.
Oh, yeah.
Watch your tone. You know,
Yeah.
even if I think she wrong,
Yeah.
because a lot of times, you know, when women, and I'm just not generalizations or anything like that, but when you have been working all day and you're tired and you're fatigued and you get home and now these little kids bickering back and forth, they going back and forth,
You don't want to hear that.
and they don't nip it early enough, they let it escalate. So now when they finally say something, oh, it's up, that's it. You can't have the game for a month. Give me your phone for a year. And they just be flipping out.
Yeah.
You know?
Or just a nuclear explosion.
And I'm like, and I was saying to my wife, I'm like, yo, you can't. I said, did you say something like, hey, if y'all don't be quiet, you know, I'm gonna send you to
There'll
your
be
room.
consequences,
She
right?
ain't never get to that. It was never a little, I'm gonna send you to your room and that. I would say to her, I said, listen, why don't you do this? If they going back and forth at it and you don't want to hear that noise, just say, hey, both of y'all go upstairs to your room. You can come down when y'all not going to engage in all that. I'm not even going to tell you when to come down.
Right.
Just go on upstairs. You go to your room. You go to your room. Come down when you know how to act.
There you go again, assuming everybody got a
Got a
room.
room.
'cause
Well,
we ain't
you know
Go
what?
to your corner.
yeah,
sit 'em
we at the
to-
same room.
Go to
One
that couch,
mama
go to
room,
that
and
couch.
one go sit in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I don't care. Y'all gonna
Or
separate.
both of y'all go to the room, and if you get to fighting when you're in there,
Then I'm
I'm coming in there with
to
the
settle
belt.
it. Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
but de-escalate early before her patience reaches a level, and now she handing out, you know, executions because they upset, you know.
Yeah.
And so and helping the boys understand, yo, you know, I talk to her. You know,
Right,
I talk to her.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, and not letting it
Hey,
get
look,
I
out.
didn't
but
really have to,
that's the thing, man. Is when you say that, and we honoring mothers. We actually gonna get in trouble with our wives over these women. But no, I'm
Not
just
me.
saying. But
No,
women, women,
Especially
you know how even with us as their husbands, they can get upset because we didn't do something on automation that they expect.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, why didn't you just already do that? And you're like, why didn't you just tell me that's what you wanted? We there, right?
Mm.
They're like, you should have already known to do this. And so I remember when my sons were young, and she would say, all right, y'all want to go ahead and take a bath? Her expectation was that they're going to go take a bath. And
These are
100% of the
boys.
time when you said it like that, they didn't go take a bath or shower. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I was just like,
Or
just tell them what to do.
Right.
I said, you're suggesting.
Or she'll get mad if they say no.
Yeah.
Y'all want to go? Y'all want to
They
go?
didn't
Yeah,
take the
Nope,
suggestion,
we
so
don't.
you mad, and then you nut up. I can't. They don't even listen to me. You didn't tell them to do anything. So why do they listen to you? Because I said y'all got 5 minutes to go up there and get in the shower.
Right.
Ain't no ifs, ands, buts about it. So that was what I would. And then on the other end, I would tell them, listen, man. Sometimes why does somebody gotta keep when this is what she's asking you? When she says that, she's just not as direct as I am. So I would teach them how to interpret what I learned after
Right.
being married to her.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Right.
so this is how you relate to your mother. I'm showing you what I had to learn how to
Yes.
do in order to keep
Great
some
point.
peace around this joint. You know what I'm saying? You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, for
That's
me,
real.
I didn't really have to, you know, teach that to Tyreek. I mean, you know, if he was doing something, I mean, you know, towards his mother, I mean, she gonna straighten it right then and there. She's not gonna let it
Yeah.
boil over anything. So, you know, so I ain't really have to worry about that. But then sometimes I will also warn him, you know, coming in the house and, you know, she might not be up to it or whatever. Be like, hey, Tyreek, today ain't the day, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then later on or whatever, when whatever she dealing with or whatever, cool off, then I'll be like, you good now, you know? And so then, you know, but sometimes you try to prepare him and try to stop it before, you know, because Tyreek, I mean, he'll be turned up every day, you know? He'll be like, yo, I mean, he just like me, you know, got that super energy, man.
And if something happened, it's his fault. He ain't got no brother to blame it on.
Nah.
It's
But
on
some of what you're doing is indirectly teaching them how to deal with women and the opposite nature that men and women have when you do that, because it sounds crazy when we sitting up and saying, man, sometime before she was coming home, I had to let them know, man, it's not the day. Almost like an alcoholic dad or something. It's like, hey, yo, it's a storm about to brew up in this joint. Today, not the day. I just rode home with her. I'm telling y'all, it wasn't even safe for me.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? It's an interesting thing, man. And then sometimes back to the, me saying, you not gonna treat my son like that and talking about their brothers.
Yeah.
I've said before, hey, that's my wife, bro.
Yeah.
That's my
Right.
wife.
You're
Don't
right.
you get out of pocket.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I'm gonna have to deal with you as a man that gotta protect my wife.
Right.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
let's not get that twisted.
Right.
You know, that you think you got some space to put some bass in your voice or whatever you're gonna do as you get older. And I remember one time, man, Amir was he was like 14 or something. And I forgot what he did, man, but Patrice was just fed up with him, dog. She started swinging on him, right? And he was dipping, you know. I always joke with him. I was like, you so
Bobbing and
slow, you're
weaving.
not gonna hit nobody. He was like this, Dad!
He was Mayweather.
Dad, hey Dad, oh Dad, right? And then you know what I'm saying? He was bobbing and weaving and calling me, right? I was like, hey, listen, man, I don't know what you did, but you know, and it was probably a situation where he needed some attention, but you know, she was just at her wits' end with him with that, and we all laugh and joke about it. Now, man, but you really do with young men that respect, teaching them to respect their mother, and even to the point where I'll say, like, when they were young and started having their own resources, I was like, look, I shouldn't have to tell you to go think about getting your mother a gift, or I shouldn't have to tell you to do this for your mother. So teaching them, like, listen, you have a duty, to your point. And that duty is not just cleaning up your room as she expect or doing your homework as she expect. That duty extends to you finding ways to love on her and show her appreciation with more than just you being a compliant child.
As well as other than on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
just throughout all the time. You know?
And to reflect on that, you know, some like my son, a young man, right?
Uh-huh.
So I have to, you know, when we go to dinner and stuff, right? And when we moving about, like if he with his mother, right, and they walking, I'm like, you know, hey, you get on the outside, have your mother in the inside, like that. If we at a restaurant, don't you sit with your back towards the door. You need to be aware of your surroundings.
Right.
You need to sit like this and look this way and pay attention to everything that's going on. That's what a man do. You know, is a lot of things that I was doing as a father, as the man of the house, that my wife didn't know for years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I exposed them one day when I was teaching him. And she was, oh, you do, oh, that's why you know. And
Right.
so I was, and it was so funny. I told her, right? Then she want to remind me every time. Oh yeah, you want to sit here because you don't want your back towards the door. I'm like, baby, we don't.
She's so happy with that new knowledge.
Right.
You know, but it was so funny. But you know, and I was like, I would explain to him, you know, this is what you do. You know, this is how you think. This is how you operate. This is how you move. This is how you look at. And I'm coaching him, you know, as well as, you know, opening the door for your mom, holding the umbrella for your mom, you know, teaching him how to be a gentleman to his mother. Yeah. So when he out dating, he know how to interact with a young lady. He know how to treat a young lady because he had experience practicing showing his mother that love and respect.
Right. Yeah.
Man,
same thing.
can I bring up this point? Have y'all had experience with this? And I appreciate my wife for this, right? Have you had times when either for whatever reason you knew you were not the one to communicate something to your child?
Oh man.
Or you needed help because you had maybe communicated it so much, and if you say it one more time, you might kirk off on them, or it just isn't working. And I have appreciated her being mother enough for giving me the space to say to her, this is what they need to know. And I need you to tell it to them.
Yeah, absolutely. 1,000%. And that happens
every
lot.
day.
A lot in our house.
Yeah.
You know, because I know, or I believe I know, how my sons will receive it if it's coming from me. Exact same message.
Right.
But when it comes from me, they may take it as, They go dad trying to know everything.
Boss
They go
people.
dad trying to boss everybody around.
Yeah.
They go dad trying to tell me what to do. But more importantly, what they think is dad is disappointed in me.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. And because they think dad is disappointed in me, they may get a little defensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
They may not, they just don't receive the message the same. So I will go to her and be like, hey, I need you to say this. Why? Same message, because they're not going to interpret it that way. They're going to interpret it as just concern mom.
That's the
Mom
value
is
of
just
mom,
concerned.
right? Yeah.
Exactly. Mom is just concerned. And mom is worried. And mom is concerned that I may be, making a bad decision or not doing the right thing. And let me explain to her or put her at ease or what have you.
So don't disappoint dad and don't worry mom. You don't want mom to worry.
Exactly.
For the child.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what they not gonna do, which we not gonna do, is sometimes when we got that strong message, we not building you up right away.
That's true.
We not. We walking away, and I said that shit. That's what it is.
It's final.
Yeah.
On some man stuff. They're gonna also build them back up in that moment, which it ain't in our nature to do that right away.
Right.
You understand? They're gonna console them. They're gonna teach them the lesson and then console them. And I also appreciate the times where I didn't have to say anything for that to happen.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
When she just did it, like, and now Amir said, man, when mom send you one of those text messages, man, them joints will correct you so quick. But sometimes I would just be like angry or something or pissed off, and I wouldn't even tell her. I don't even want her to say nothing. I'd be like, I'm gonna deal with that. You know what I mean? You what? I'm gonna deal with that, right? And the next thing you know, they coming to me saying, Dad, mom sent me this message, man, and I just feel so broken right now because she would write it in such a way that was like reminding them of their duty and stuff. And I'd be like, oh man, I'm glad she did that. You know what I'm saying? And Amir to this day, he saves them joints. He was like, let me read you this one. I got this one, man. At this age when I didn't do this, he was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it was stuff I had communicated to her about my disappointment with them.
Yeah.
Even though, and it might have been something I wasn't even gonna say nothing right then. I was just processing it.
Yeah.
And she was mother enough to say, I gotta go handle this or get involved with that. You got any similar experiences?
I'm just tripping because, like she said, before Pops get on, let me handle it. You know what I mean? Let me give them the message and hopefully they get it. If they don't get it, at least they got the warning.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But one thing I think is very important. If you want to have a relationship with your sons or daughters that's like what we talking about up here, you have to be extremely mindful of everything you say to your children as a parent or a mother. Sometimes mothers and fathers do this as well. We have authority by title. The title, I'm your mama, you the kid, and because that title gives me certain authority, you need to do what I say. But mothers have to understand, and fathers have to understand, you can have authority by title, but you need moral authority. And you cannot lose your moral authority with your children.
How you lose your moral authority?
By allowing them to see you as a damn hypocrite. By allowing them to see you doing things that you done told them not to do and now you doing. By allowing them to see you in a light that they should not be exposed to. They should not be exposed to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that you dating. They should not be exposed to a certain level of partying or whatever it may be. Don't let your children see you as a hypocrite because you will lose your moral authority. And when you lose your moral authority, that eats away at the fabric of the relationship because now they're looking at you sideways. They really looking at you sideways. And now you get the boy that want to talk back. Hell, you might even get the boy that want to hit his mama, swing on his mama. You know, we talk about all this because we got good kids. But what about the mothers who kid is out of control? How you get like that? You know, we was talking about this earlier. You like, how old is he? You know, 15, 16? Yeah.
Lost
you,
cause.
you
Lost
got
cause.
your hands full at this point because
Yeah.
the stages of development is kicking in. You
Yeah.
know, so mothers, fathers, parents, do not lose your moral authority with your children. The authority by title only carries you so far.
Right.
Because once they can start to see and think for themselves and observe for themselves, like you said in the beginning, you said your mama is God because she provide all of this for you. That means she here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, by the time I'm 15, 16, and I done seen all the foul, you know what you might be doing? And all the foul behavior.
Close that gap quick.
You just coming down. You coming down. Parents, do not allow that to happen.
Back to your children, they don't do what you say, they do what they see you do.
Right.
Kids, imitate what they see and repeat what they hear.
Yeah.
And you need to know everything that's coming out your mouth.
And
Don't be surprised when he repeated in front of company. Now you embarrassed.
And look, I want to say this to our sisters, man, our wonderful sisters, man, to your point. And especially when you have daughters.
Come on.
You know, the numbers aren't there for our sisters in terms of finding a good, decent man. Right?
We got 12 of them.
It used to be they did. They lucked out.
That's right.
It used to be, they used to say when
Ain't
we was
none
in
of 'em
school,
bad.
1 out of 4 black men are either in jail, incarcerated, or under some form of court supervision. Now I think they say 1 out of 3,
3.
possibly 1 out of 2. If it's 1 out of 3, right? Then I thought, if you think about it like that, then how many of them just trifling, they ain't in jail though? So the numbers is even lower than that. Their potential to find a good, strong man, especially if they're past a certain age. And so loneliness comes. And the need to be with somebody comes. And then the relationship comes. So they compromise their standards and their morals to be comforted, to be happy. And you got this little girl that you raising, that you bringing multiple men around that aren't committed to you. And these little girls see that. And what type of man do you think they're going to settle for? And I'm not judging our sisters. I'm just saying, man. And that's what the importance of a mother is. Can you deny yourself to the point where you keep your standards in check? At least don't let them see the foolishness. As you're saying, because you are sentencing your daughters to get with a man and accept what you have accepted because of your inability to find the perfect mate for yourself. And I think that's a very real thing, man. And mamas have to make so many sacrifices. And I know they get tired and it's hard.
And that's one more we asking them to make.
It's another
That's a
one.
big
It
one.
is, but it's hard, man. But it's so important. And then for the boys, what we're talking about is mama is so important that if you allow your sons, because of no greater love a mother has and a son has than for his mother, Denzel Washington also said, and no greater love that a mother has than her firstborn son. He was like, that second and third one, they love him. He not tripping all of that. But you mess with that first one. He was like, in this household, you can't mess with his oldest son.
You hear that?
Yeah. Joaquin in the pecking order. But my
Me and him
point
about
is,
to beef now.
but you can love him. You can love him
He
to
said that
the
was
point
then.
where you cripple the boy from accepting accountability, from being the type of man, like your mama said, I can show you to be the type of man that a woman would want.
Yep.
Because you always making excuses for him. It's always somebody else's fault when they do something. Those are the sides of mother that can sentence a young boy to a lifetime of not accepting responsibility for his actions and being a deadbeat dad. And I don't want to darken our love and joy for mothers, but that's a reality, man.
Yeah, got to be careful of that. You're right.
I was just watching a podcast. I think it was Tom Bayou, and he had a CIA officer on there. And the CIA officer was talking about how they, identify targets and help them to become spies for the United States and all that stuff. And the thing I found so fascinating about the conversation was he was talking about how they compile a dossier on a potential target. And he said they compile a dossier based on the information about the person. They say from 0 to 7, there's a stage of development. From 7 to 13, there's another stage of development. And from 13 to 25 is the next stage of development. If they know where you lived, who you were around, what schools you went to, they can pretty much form a whole dossier on you, understanding your ideology and how you are and how you think. So that when they finally encounter you outside on the mall at the kiosk, they know exactly what to say to you to engage with you and continue that conversation.
Wow.
They know the exact sentence. The sentence to speak to you the very first time they meet you has already been written out because they know you so well. They know exactly what it would take to continue an engagement with you. And then they talked about the different stages that people have in their lives. You know, people have a public life, people have a private life, and then people have a secret life. And so that's extremely important when you start to think about as you encounter people. So my point is the way you lose your moral authority is you're exposing your kids to parts of your secret life that they should not have access to.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
your private life will go on in the house, public life will go on outside. But there's a secret part of your life that exists. And when you let your kid, and when you talk about your kids being your friends, see, that is why people say, I'm not friends with my son or I'm not friends with my daughter, because they don't want people to expose the secret parts of their lives to their children. The reason that CIA officer is connecting with these people is because they're trying to get that target to expose a secret component of their life. And they know they don't do that unless they have that relationship with them.
Wow.
And so we can't lose our moral authority by exposing secret aspects of our lives to our children. That's what happens. You know, they know way too much. They know way too much. They done seen way too much. And so that's how this happens.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to have and maintain good relationships with your kids, you need to keep those things separate.
Get a baby.
You're saying that's what happens, like when we touched on the example of, like you said, the child that's cussing their mama out or whatever.
But that's
At
why he
whatever
cussing her
age.
out, because he don't respect her no more. Because he don't, you know, because he done seen too much.
Right. She exposed too much of it.
She done exposed too much of her secret life. That
And probably
kids
because she
shouldn't have access to.
didn't establish any type of moral code, any kind of value, you know, she probably cussing him out, cussing at him when
Cussing
he's young.
back at it.
Or just cussing him first, as opposed to teaching him, you know, manners and this, that, and the third, and then wonder why he don't respect her later on at 11. You know, if at 3 or 4 you cussing him out, little bastard, you know, do whatever, you know, however she cussing him out and fussing him out, and then she certainly can't be surprised if he's then, you know, cussing her out later on at 11 through 16 and whatever.
That's how we talk.
Right, yeah, because that's what you establish as your form of communication and whatnot, or what young mothers may do, and they don't have to necessarily be young, but again, not establishing any of that type of standard or code. Whereas if he was to, you know, if you're watching certain programs or television or movies or whatever, that's very foul, or you watching a comedy show, you know what I mean? And the children, you know what I'm saying? You're just raising them up, and then the first cuss word slip out, and you find that entertaining as opposed to disciplining and kind of nipping that in the bud and say, hey, that's not the language. But he wouldn't know anything about that if you didn't expose it to them and make that mistake of doing that and being irresponsible. That's irresponsible parenting, in my opinion.
We've been on the go ahead, John.
Oh no, I was gonna say we talking about the mom, and I said it once, I said it before, again, I said it again. As men, when you dating a woman, whether you running game, whether you sincere about it, whether you just trying to connect, hook up or whatnot, show some respect, right? If this lady got a child, you don't need to meet the child. You know what I mean? Even if you got the best intentions, date her without, hey, help her get a babysitter. Let me get to know you. You know what I mean? Before you even do, even if she wants to,
even if she wants you to meet
even
the child, right?
Nah, I don't want to meet the child right now because you might be done with me in 2 months or 3 months, or vice versa. This thing might not work out.
Yeah.
But if I know we gonna connect, that's a given. That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah.
don't do that. It's not the child to interview them. You know what I mean? If they real and
Right.
they sincere, it'll work itself out.
Right.
Exposing them to your
Hey,
secret
look, we
life.
sort of been
Yeah,
on the.
exactly.
I hope mothers out there like, yeah, they going in on us, right? But let's talk about back to the joy side of it, right? Back to the joy side of it, man. I want to know if y'all need some wait time to think about it. I'll go first. But today, what message? I love the fact that Talik said he wrote his mom a love letter, and I want to do that, man. But what message would you say to your mom about her impact on your life right now? What would you say to her in 1 minute?
You go first. You said it.
I would. I put it out there hoping y'all weren't gonna be takers on it. I would say that your life example is the fuel that drives my life, and that your ability to be a mother and mothering, along with your lack of fear and disciplining some rambunctious boys, is the discipline I needed to not carry me through adolescence because I didn't listen as well, but was the discipline I needed to carry me through my adulthood and to be the father that I'm trying to be right now. Because make no mistake about it, she would handle us when we needed to be handled physically and was not afraid of us. And still to this day, I know she's not afraid of us because she'll tell me in a minute, come on. I be joking with her, right? Come on. I got something for you. You understand what I'm saying?
That's what I always tell them. I said, Mom, you smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
Yeah. You got
Still
something
think
for
she
you.
tough.
And so, and then there's, I just love, you are, to me, God's gift to me. You're God's gift to me. And I just appreciate, and I hope you know how much I appreciated every sacrifice you made to make my life what it is today.
Bro, it's hard to talk after you.
Hey, man.
Hey, like you say, man, I'm so grateful and thankful for our relationship today and what she means to our family, you know, and now my mom is Big Mom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful that she's in good shape and we can laugh and joke and talk, you know, and just like we parent our kids, hey, we still need parenting. We still need mentorship.
That's a
we
fact.
Still need a certain love and nurturing.
Yeah.
You feel me? And then we, as men, we able to even give her more. And it's nothing I love more than to hear her. I'll sit in the back and hear her and watch her talk and laugh with her grandkids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That brings me so much joy. You know, that they know her so well, you know, and continue to build on that relationship. And then, like you say, man, that's God's gift to me as well. And for her to say, hey, I'm proud of you as the father, you know, and that you be into your kids.
Oh man, I know that means the world.
Oh man, yeah. And so then I give her credit, you know, for me. So this is where it's all started.
Yeah.
You know? And so yeah, man.
Good stuff.
Yeah, my mom's so special. She like a mother to so many, you know. She the goat, you know. You know, it's just and I made a promise when I had got incarcerated, man, and I was in cell for overnight, man. I made a promise that I always will spoil her, and I get joy out of that. You know, I'm gonna give her anyway, so that's just lined up with who I am, and so I'm always doing something nice, buying her something, sending her somewhere, taking her somewhere. But you know, not only that, my son got 3 strong women, you know, beautiful women in his family. Both his grandmas, shoot, even the great grandma, you know,
cool. Yeah.
and
awesome.
of course his mother, you know. So he's surrounded by real solid women, you know. Just gonna check him, gonna tell him right, gonna show him love. So just shout out to those beautiful women in his corner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, First thing I would say is just thank you. How much I truly, truly, truly appreciate everything you did for me and my brother. And I know sometimes we as parents can do it to ourselves, and I'm sure our mothers have done it to themselves as well, is they may feel like they can beat themselves up sometimes about maybe what they feel like they were neglectful when we were 5 or 6 or when we were 12 or 13. And I just want to tell my mom that me and my brother are extremely happy and proud of who you are, and we carry zero baggage.
Absolutely.
And when I say zero, I mean zero baggage.
No doubt about it. Yeah.
Our upbringing. We don't carry, my mama did this, we ain't got none of that, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
We are so proud of the job she did with us, you know, and we are so thankful for that. And we carry zero baggage. So I say, Mom, whatever, if you are beating yourself up about anything, you don't have to, you know.
Yeah.
And when
Beat
you
yourself
look
up
up
about
here,
beating yourself up for no reason.
beat yourself up about beating yourself up.
Yeah.
Because when you look up here and you see us, we are only a reflection of you. You know, we're a reflection of you and all that is good. And thank you. And it's hard to have that conversation about just mama without throwing in grandmama and aunts
for sure.
and everybody else, because they all contributed to who we are. And whatever you look at us and see whatever success you may think you see, it's because of the village and the people that our mother, you know, put together. She put together the village for us. You know, that village existed, that raised us. She put that together. And so, you know, she could have took us off to some other city, some other town, and we not had the relationships we had with our grandma and all that stuff. But she didn't. And we here. And so I'm so thankful for that.
Yeah.
And I can't tell her how much I appreciate it. And then to my kids' mother, I'm sure they feel the exact same way about all her sacrifices and all her hard work and everything she's done to make our life what it is. And so many times the mothers are unsung because we on camera right now, not them women.
Yeah, that's a fact.
But we are only here because of those women.
That's fact. That's a fact.
We on camera, not the women.
Yeah.
But because they do what they do, they allow us to sit right here in front of the camera and do what we do.
That's a fact.
And so that is just, I can't thank them enough for that, you know, and to recognize that whatever success you might deem this to be, it's because of the women behind us.
Absolutely.
That's making it happen for us. And so just thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, one more thing. I just want to also, before we finish and go to J Moo, man, I cherish my mom and our conversation. We talk all the time, but Sundays is our special day.
Every Sunday.
Yeah, every Sunday is our special day. So it don't matter where I'm at, we gonna chat.
Yeah.
So
Well, yes, of course, man. Thank you. Throughout the years, I was able to find, you know, certain cards during or around that time of Mother's Day and that sort that would describe her characteristics and qualities, but those ones that the cards can't express, you know, such as her just instilling in me the values of how a woman should be treated, to be able, though she may not have received that proper treatment, you know what I mean? I saw the hurt in her to know I would never want to treat my wife in that way. And so that helped me be, you know, although I had my, you know, my faults here and there, but
just here and there.
Overall, that's
just here and there.
Just here and there. But you know, giving me that this standard of trying to be better than what I knew I could, you know, be, knowing that, and then just, I mean, her loving and just taking care of us so well, to almost to the point of a fault, you know what I mean, to where we weren't prepared to do it, you know, for ourselves, because Mama was always there and did it so much so, you know what I mean. And so not to say that I was looking for women to just take care of me and that sort of thing, but that's what could happen.
Would have been nice.
That's what could happen if you know there's not enough balance. But I think, and I thank Mom for having, you know, at least enough of that for me to at least be able to see and appreciate, this is how a woman should take care of a man, and to recognize that. And then for her to also be at the point now with our relationship and where we are, receptive and open to what I can teach her and offer her from what I've learned, you know, with health and that sort of things. As you know, as she's getting up, she's taking, you know, advice from me and listening to me as though she's now the child, because that's kind of how it happens. It goes in reverse. You know what I mean?
Shifts, yeah.
Right. And so appreciating her openness to that,
Yeah.
and receiving that without insult or feeling some kind of way, and just being the loving mother that she is. Again, at this even so recent as the other day, you need some money? I'm like, no, Mom, I'm good, I'm straight. So I appreciate and love you, of course, and there's, you know, there's really there's not enough greeting cards in the world that could just, you know, to describe the profound love and appreciation I have for you. So,
hey man, our granddaddy
you told
said,
me anything and everything.
Yeah.
that used to be the ringtone for my mom until, you know, this damn iPhone. I can't really bring that up.
What you gonna say, John?
Hey, granddaddy, great grandfather Dallas Garland said, I only love two women in my life, and that's my mama and Chassie. That's his mother and his wife. You know?
Right.
And that's a wonderful thing to say, man, after 77 years of marriage. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
And my mom and my wife.
Well, this was a mother episode, and we'll do a wife episode. We kind of touched on wives.
Yeah.
But right now, this was a mother episode.
Absolutely.
And so,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And like
love
you
them
said,
dearly.
none of us could be standing here talking about our children in general if we didn't have some women, you know, that helped, that brought them into this world, and that had some genetics that contribute to them being who they are.
What are the odds?
My parting word is, you can tell a tree by the fruit it bears. And I hope our mothers look up here on this stage and are happy with the fruit that they produce, and then their grandchildren, another generation of fruit that come from these strong, amazing women that guide and the foundation of all of our lives. It's the B2M Crew podcast, chopping it up about mothers, broadcasting from Charlottesville, Virginia. Me and the fella sharing 40 years of our reflections on friendship, brotherhood, and things we've learned along the way. And again, brought to you by, we're at the Code Building, brought to you by Win Productions, brand new studio in Atlanta. Joaquin, take us out with something, bro.
In the words of the great Frederick Douglass, it is easier to raise strong children than to repair broken men. Good night. Peace.
Hit it, James.
Mama, you know I love you.
And I won't stop until I'm winning. I'ma show them how true and independent get it. Whole game changed by the time I'm finished with it. We about to get this business handled in a minute. And I won't stop until I'm winning. They don't want me in the office 'cause I